Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Airborne Weekly Options Live Trade Brief, March 13th. Good stuff. A lot of stuff going on. Big week ahead in the markets, and we'll debrief what happened last week. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Great weekend down here in South Florida. Beautiful out. So sorry for all my friends up there in the Northeast that are about to get buried or are getting buried or have been buried or any of that stuff. I'm going to be going for a run here shortly on the beach at the Boca Hotel. Speaking of the Boca Hotel, we actually are firming up the live event we're going to be doing here in a couple months in June. The page, I really don't want to give it to you yet because it's just a shell of a page. Our techie's going to, I'm not even going to show you. All right, we have a page that's going to be up to say, hey, showing my interest because we want to gauge interest and definitely have it. We're not going to have it if it's one person, but last time we were going to have an event, there was at least 50 to 75 of you that are coming. We're going to be teaming up with John Thomas, maybe some other traders to make it a nice day and a half, 2-day event. So down here in South Florida in June, so definitely save the date there. What was the date that we agreed to? June 9th and 10th. So how about just at least put that on your calendar, June 9th and 10th. Down there in Miami, most likely at the Marriott Marquis. Fish, I know you're in, man. Greg, we have snow and you don't. You're right. Well, we got snow down here too. It's either the sand or cocaine if you're down in Miami. So it'll be a good 2-day event. Dinner the night before if you pay up a little bit for a really nice dinner with me, JT, and the other speakers. Then a full day of training and interacting with all your TGO buddies, making new friends, and finally putting a lot of names to the face. So when this page really gets done with all the events and times and dates and everything like that, we'll go ahead and put that out to you. So wanted to let you know that it is happening, and it's June 9th and 10th. So write that down because a lot of people last time said, hey, I'm going to plan, maybe I bring the family down and we go up to Disney or plan a vacation around it. And I wanted to do it at the beginning of the summer before people really get their plans going for the summer in earnest. So maybe you could plan something around that. So really looking forward to it, really meeting a lot of you folks in person, and it's going to be a great time. So again, I think Skip said he'd have the page done by the end of today. So maybe during the PLTV tomorrow, I'll put that out. All right. How many of you, let's debrief last week. How many of you loved let me get a hell yeah if you made a max profit on last week's bull put spread on the S&P 500. Another great nail biter of a week. Marion did well. Awesome. Our strategic mindset and our commit criteria were perfect again. Bill, hell yeah. Steve, hell yeah. Fish got a good 75% and out. I like taking that. Definitely a lucky strike moment. Chuck, John, Rob, Phil, Sylvana, Frank, didn't get full profit, only 96%. I know you're saying that tongue-in-cheek, Frank. Max, Larry, 80% and out. Steven, 88.5% out. Andrew for 10 cents. Scott, Greg just made under 3,100 bucks. There's a full year of your Max Afterburner right there. And real quick, guys, this is my final call. If you are on a weekly, not weekly, I'm in weekly options. If you're on a, Rick got 100%, Tony 80% and out, Robert 75% and out, and Fish made another 75% on the 2380, 2385. Good, Dennis 70%. Guys, another reminder to pick up the phone and call Annie or shoot an email to support at Top Gun Options because we just got off the phone this morning briefing our next full throttle launch in April. Most likely the monthly memberships are going up. You are not grandfathered in if you're in a monthly. If those go up, it's a price increase for you. The only folks that are grandfathered in to never see a price increase again are my annual members. Okay, so if you're still in a monthly, hopefully you've done the math by now and said, wait, I should be out of this by now in an annual to save some money. So the price increase is coming for my monthly folks. Again, I said this all along, you're not grandfathered in, so give Annie a call like now, or not now, pay attention to what we're doing, because you're going to be paying more, okay? John, chicken out for a small loss on Thursday. Hey, man, that ain't chickening out. If it hit your out criteria, folks, that's not chickening out, man. Whenever you stick to your own SOP, hey, with my standard operating procedure, the one that I wrote, I know what yours says, that's where I got out. So I know a little self-deprecating humor. You didn't chicken out, man. You did some good work, and I'm proud of you. Okay. Again, another week. You can see my canceled. I've chased this thing around all day, and never got filled on it. So another one of those. And I saw some other people saying didn't get in. I didn't read those because I was one of you. So lucky strike moment, but not really. Because remember, folks, our strategic mindset, we did the whole sell the State of the Union, and I said we're going to hold 2360. I'm not Nostradamus, but I look at everything. We did a good weekly options live trade brief last week, and I said this is why we're going to hold 2360 or whatever it was, 65, whatever the exact number I put out there, and we did. So good weekly options trades, guys. We've been having a blast. I know there's been lucky strike moments, but before you got into anything weekly options with Wiz, till I was blue in the face, I told you weekly options aren't necessarily for the faint of heart. Obviously, during stuff like this and stuff like this, it's printing money. It's these moments like this where you really, your mettle shows through as an options trader. Okay, so hopefully you didn't smoke too many lucky strikes because we had a good strategic mindset and a good commit criteria. Okay, so Bruce stopped out on SPX for a loss, offset with the AIG gain. Would rather take a small loss and limit risks. Very well said, Bruce. Very well captured. So really good week with weekly options. I enjoyed watching it, and I put it out in my sit rep. Hey, if I was in this thing, I'm not. And again, folks, this is why we brief. Every once in a while, somebody will throw in the ready room like, I'm soloing this trade and I don't know what to do. Then that means you're not listening or you're just trading blindly, and you probably shouldn't be here at TGO. Because we talk about this is why we brief, folks. That's why when we get airborne on a mission, there's very little communication over the radio in a fighter jet. Even if there's 32 of us airborne, the only communication that needs to happen if something isn't going as, what's the word, briefed. Okay, so it should be very, very quiet during the life of a trade unless something ain't going as briefed. I said if we break this with any airspeed, don't even wait to hear a word from me. Get out of the damn trade. We didn't. There's a nice little slide down to that support level, and we're hanging here right now. So, good debrief. Hats off to all of you that made a nice max profit. Tamara, my first full week of trading, I pulled in 31.78. Thank you so much. Awesome. Yeah, Phil. And even though I wasn't filled, you're welcome. I will give you my take on it because it had to do with the overall market. If it was a single stock or something like that, I probably wouldn't have. I'm going to call that one Tamara. So. You're welcome, Tamara. That paid for a full throttle max annual slot, your first week of trading for $31.78. That's why it's so funny when I'm doing a full throttle week, I'm dying to get people on board. That's a big investment. No, it's not. $29.95 for a full year, and Tamara made that back in a year. So again, last call to my monthlies to call Annie today, man, because based on our performance, I have to raise rates. So, just like the Fed. So, all right, quick debrief. Enjoyed that. Real quick, I did this in my sit rep today, so you don't have to watch the first 5 minutes. This idiot in Manhattan, what a jerk. I hate Democrats and liberals who have zero memory. Every president, almost every president, when they get in the first couple months in office, they ditch all the attorneys generals from the last administration. Are you that stupid, liberals? Their face is like peeling off that they ultimately had to fire this guy in Manhattan because he wouldn't resign. Why? Because he wants to run for mayor. It was a political move. And by the way, anybody remember some attorney general in Alabama named Jeff Sessions? Clinton fired him. So all these faux outraged liberals that are so stupid, I love getting in the conversations about this with me. Yeah, I can't believe he fired all these attorneys generals. I'm like, Obama did it, Bill Clinton did it, George Bush did it, but now that Trump did it, it's the Saturday Night Massacre. You're fools. Idiots who speak like this, I end up telling them the fact. They have this stupid look on their face like, I didn't know other presidents did this. What do you think? They come in as a new administration and want to keep all the old attorneys generals that think we should have 4 bathrooms for multiple gender animals? It's ridiculous. So It's ridiculous. And there's somebody calling on the office line, an overspill from Annie's phone. I'm obviously not going to pick this. And of course, the Russians are like, oh, and by the way, a lot of people in Hillary's campaign reached out to us as well, but you're not hearing that on CNN. All right, so here we go. I'm going to cover a lot of this tomorrow, but my strategic mindset is still cautiously bullish. Japan's aircraft carrier, the Maritime Self-Defense helicopter carrier Izumo, guess what? Biggest show of force since World War II is heading to the Pacific, man. How does this end? Does North Korea go, oh, you're right, Trump's right, we're scared of him? Does this all end with all the ships meeting in the middle of the Pacific and everybody shaking hands with Rodney King in the middle? This is not going to end well, folks. Obviously, the guy's starving in the North. He lights off bottle rockets to get food and attention, and he is testing Donald Trump. You're right, Cheryl, this is not good. I've heard potential first strikes. It's been reported publicly, so I can tell you, once I hear it in public, I'll talk all day about it. I know this stuff. We're potentially going to launch EMPs, bombs, electromagnetic pulse bombs. They don't kill people. They will fry everything electronic within, a 50-mile radius, man, including in mountains. So do we just fry their entire nuke system? Or if when you fry a nuke system, does it have a default to launch and launch here to Guam or Okinawa? This is scary, folks. I know we got Brexit. I know we got Fed. I know we got Obamacare. We got a lot of tactical stuff that a lot of people who aren't TGO members focus on. You got to look at this stuff, man. I don't know how this ends. That's my problem. This is the closest I've seen. You guys know I sailed through these waters. I've heard Chinese dudes over the radio yelling to get out of their airspace. I'm like, really? Why don't you come up and make me? So this is worrying me. We got Brexit on the radar this week. Remember, it's a 2-year process, guys. It ain't. If the EU says it'll take 2 years, any government document that says it'll take 2 years to do something, add 2 years to it. But that could throw some volatility in it. Here come the Fed. The Fed is going to raise this week. But here's what's funny. Here's what's funny about the journal sometimes. Investors ready for a week of events that could rattle markets. Expected rate increase and possible Brexit move, read this with me, could push traders to reverse course in unison. What's that mean? You think we're going to have a kind of a sell in the news with the Brexit and the Fed? These are all known things. It's not like we don't know that they're going to raise rates or leave. So the journal says that. Stock steady as investors watch central banks. The BOJ, it's funny, they're calling it a stealth taper, but if I know about it, it ain't too stealth, is it? They're, 18 trillion less a month or something? They're kind of easing the punch bowl, just like Mario Draghi said last week. So the Bank of Japan and the ECB are starting to draft behind the United States. We did our QE, 1, 2, 3, 4, Operation Twist, Operation whatever that other one was called. And then Bernanke started the taper, and now we're getting ready to raise rates. So it's also like, we're Kyle Busch or Joey Logano, and these guys are drafting right behind us, watching us. Okay? So now watch this headline. The Fed's expected rate increase signals return to more normal. As oil stabilizes and expected inflation picks up, yay, officials are now putting equal weight on upside and downside risks. So one headline is like, holy crap, and the other one's like, yay, this is normal and this is great. All right, so how are we supposed to read this? Fed and markets align despite looming interest rate increase. Strengthening economy, improving earnings, great jobs report on Friday, and a measured rate rise buoy stocks. Buoy, I love nautical terms. So one says, whoa, it could reverse course, look out. And this one says, hey, this is very bullish. So where does that leave us? You know where that leaves? I love conflicting headlines in the journal. They usually don't do this, but those kind of are. So what do we do? What we do is we continue on with what we've been doing. The white side, if I could fill in the white side of this chart, maybe I'll do that. I'll take a screenshot and start putting white out here of lettering, like World War III in the Pacific, Iran lighting off bottle rockets in the Persian Gulf, so war in the Persian Gulf, Russia. So I can stack out all these events that could make this happen. Make it a this happen. Sorry, that was racist. But until this happens, we go up, right? Now, I was looking at Apple, and I was also looking at Facebook as potential weekly options trades. There ain't no premium in them. Who was it? Tom's been doing a great job. Tom, are you in here? Great job in the Ready Room, man. You got to watch his threads. He is putting some great intel out there. Somebody else, Matt, Cheryl, Marion, somebody put some good intel on the EWZ in the Ready Room today. Nice job, fellas and ladies, putting stuff in the Ready Room. I'm looking at it. I look at it, guys. If somebody's sharing intel with me, I'm not the Oracle. I'm not Nostradamus, so thanks for hooking us up. Facebook, AR, up $1,000. Yeah, Fred or Brad, we're doing great Facebook trades there. But I looked at some weeklies. There ain't no premium in these things, man. Look at Facebook. This has been a layup trade if you've been doing Facebook weeklies. Look at this thing. Kind of looks like the S&P 500. So I took a look at the 138, 137s, and then Apple. You ready? Look at the price on both these. I looked at the 138s and 137s. So literally Facebook has, and Apple have two of the same strikes for a bull put spread I looked at. Okay? When you see that there's really no premium, I mean, I can map these out real quick. It tells you 138, 137. Let me just zip through it because I'm going to end up with an SPX trade because that's where I want to be. But it's funny because I told you guys this one guy years ago canceled. He's like, all you do is like 2 or 3 weekly option trades. I'm like, yeah, dude. You don't throw darts and go, maybe I'll do a weekly options trade on Tesla. I don't know shit about Tesla. And that's how you lose money. You only do weekly options trades on stuff that you know. So this is a very high probability trade, 73%, but look at the max loss. I could do less contracts, but remember, my mission objective in the weekly options live trade brief is to average $1,000 a trade, in profit. That's average, of course. Do I do less? Of course I do. Do I do more sometimes? Yep. So to get to around $5,000 in risk, I got to do 65 contracts. So that would hit my, make $1,000 in a week. But look at the potential downside, man. It is a low probability, but you guys know as an options trader, as a fighter pilot, I sit here and go, that's a 15% possibility that we get some red herring this week, black swan, whatever fish animal you want to use. So this 138, 137 for Apple might be doable for you. Let me at least screenshot it. So if you're interested on your own, I'm not. I'll at least put this in the write-up. And I'll do the same thing for Facebook. The reason I'm looking at these now is because I wanted to make sure the trend is your friend. This is a trend market, man. This is all momentum right now. Okay? Do you have a max risk reward ratio on spreads? Jay, I don't look at ratios. I look at max risk, man. I hardly ever look down here. I know if it's this, I don't even have to look down here. I know the math. If it's a 1 to 5, that means it works out to a 1 to 0.2. It's math. Okay? Math is hard. No, it isn't. So I'm more of a dollar max risk guy than I am a risk to reward. But they work out to be the same, right? Agreed? So let me look at the Facebook 138, 137. Same strikes. It's so funny. Haven't seen that in years. Like trading 2 different stocks that are the same strikes in a spread. I think I did 75 here too. So if you're looking for a little variety, maybe you look at these if you're, quote, tired of SPX. But SPX, since it's such a broad, and see, same thing. I think I had to do 65 here too. So you're getting 3 potential trades today for the price of, so same thing, look at that. 73 out of 4 times this trade at least breaks even. And almost 3 out of 4 times it makes $1,000. So if you did the Facebook and the Apple trade, maybe you make $2,000 this week, or maybe you lose 11. Okay, whoops. I want to take that screenshot again. I'll throw it in there. Very low, to Jay's point, risk to reward. If you're you got to ask yourself, what type of trader am I? Wiz, I wouldn't even look at something like that because of risk to reward. I like you. Or Wiz, that's got a very high using current at the money volatility of making some money, so I like that. I can't fly and fight your airplane for you, folks. You have to. So there's two potential ones. Tom, I don't follow Baidu or Baba at all. Okay? So, Andrew, probabilities change. I want more profits. Very well put, Andrew, because if you notice, whenever in front of the word volatility, what three words do I always say? And I usually say them stressfully. Like my cousin Vinny, I strenuously object. Or no, that's A Few Good Men. I say using current at the money volatility. 4 words, current. Because you're right. As I'm speaking, the volatility is changing. So that's exactly right. You got it, man. So let's go over to my comfort zone, which is the S&P 500. Okay, I like the same, almost the same strike that I did last week. Greg, way too risky for me. One loser can go a long way into ruining our great returns. Greg, great point, folks. Listen to everything Greg just said. There's my sit rep. That's exactly right. So, folks, you get a lot of these nice base hits. 1,700, 2,000, 1,500, and all of a sudden you get one of these. Hey, it was a pretty high probability trade for 1,100 bucks, and then we wake up tomorrow, black swan event, you lose 5. So now you're at either break even after a bunch of nice base hits, or you're actually down. So that's the danger with these. Okay, we get some home runs, but if you allow a max strikeout, it's going to suck. But remember, folks, we're here at TGO for a reason. We never want to hit that max loss, okay? If it looks like we're sliding downhill or uphill or whatever the trade is, that's why we have adjust and eject points. I don't want to, the only time you should see that max loss, no shit, is if you wake up and, man, what the hell happened moment. Like that Google trade, the Iron Condor I did when it blew out the top with the name change. There's no way in hell you can see that one. So we shouldn't, you should take all these base hits and bank them and never take the max loss one. Frank, that's exactly right. So let's get into the SPX trade. I'll ask you as I set it up. When is the last day? When is the last day for mere mortals like us to trade this trade? Everybody should answer. When is the last day for us to kind of manage this? Yep. Thursday at the close, man. When the closing bell, you got it all. Everybody got it. This is regular expiration week. So if you're new to weekly options, folks, and trading SPX, Friday the 3rd, Friday the 10th, skip. Friday the 24th, Friday the 31st. The SPX trades expire at 1600 on Friday, man, like normal. But during regular equity options expiry week, the last day for us technically to trade them is Thursday afternoon. Why? Because technically the SPX, the index options, expire with the first print Friday morning when all 500 stocks open for trading. Okay? So if you don't get out of it Thursday afternoon, you are at the luck or the whatever of the overnight gods. Okay, now I think 2 times last year that happened to me. I couldn't get out. I'm like, ah, crap, Boeing closed. I'm like, shit. And I think I was 1 for 1. One, the next morning it was a gap up and I won, and the other one was a gap down. I lost, and then by the afternoon it had turned around and would have been at max profit. Doesn't matter. The trade was closed that morning. Doesn't matter if the trade or the market recovered the rest of that day. It sucked. You don't want to be left at the mercy of the overnight Thursday gods this week, okay? So let's go down a little bit here. Let's go down and give us some airspace here. Ah, man, I should have put this on before and sent it out. Crap. Now it is the 60. I like the 55, guys, but I still like the 60 because it's that level, okay? It's that level that we're holding at, that if we don't hold, we're going to go down with serious airspeed, okay? Does everybody get that? Yeah, Fish, exactly right. That is a double lucky strike moment. You actually got 2 of those hanging out of your mouth, right? Like in a war movie, you're lighting it up for your buddy who just got shot in the chest. Great on the History Channel last night, a SEAL kind of history of the SEALs, man. And then Full Metal Jacket was on another channel. I was like clicking back and forth. So I'm going to sell 15 of Friday. No, here's what I'm going to say. Thursday at the close, 23.60 put. So technically this is a 4-day trade. Buy as a hedge the 23.55s. $1.25 credit, mid-market. Analyze, the first place we look is the 5-ish grand for me. Max potential loss using current at, I don't have to say current, I guess at the money volatility takes care of itself. It's like saying I'm going to the ATM machine, right? David, Matt, my screen only showing March 15 and March 30. I don't know what screen you're looking at. I don't know who you trade with. That's not, March 13, March 15, regular March expiration, and a March 20th. I don't know who you're trading with, but you're missing an expiration. Can't help you out. I'm showing the regular March expirations. Maybe you have some option not selected or something like that. SPX metrics, 313M. Okay, so max potential loss for me is $5,600. Max potential profit is about $1,900 with a 68% probability, okay? The break-even's a very high percentage, 70%. Nearly 3 out of 4 times we're going to break even on this trade. So the break-even of 23.58 is below what? This, okay? So I'm going to brief you again on our adjust and ejects and say that if we head down with any sort of airspeed, some event happens this week, the Fed doesn't raise rates. I'll tell you what, if the Fed doesn't raise rates and it's 100% certain they will, something's wrong and the market might actually sell off, okay? That's dangerous. Andrew, you could look at a bear call spread. I'm not, because the risk to me actually is to the upside. All these events, it could happen, okay? And that's exactly right, Jay. Thanks for pointing that out. I sent out an alert last week that was what? A bear put spread, shockingly enough, as a hedge. So if we do roll over pretty fast, get out of this one and get in. We have the hedge to help us out. Let me get to my broadcaster here. Where is my broadcaster? Is it in my Microsoft thing here? Yeah, different one. All right, so here we go. I'll answer that Facebook versus Apple question. The probabilities are higher with the with those two Apple and Facebook trades. That's why I showed you. But the risk is also greater. It was a hell of a lot more than $5,300, wasn't it? David, I don't know what to tell you. You got to call IB, the trading desk. Yeah, something's wrong. Obviously, there's a regular May expiration. New SPX, new weekly options, new SPX bull put spread, 15 contracts, March 17 expiry. Note, last day to trade Thursday. I'm going to buy the 23.55 puts. I'm going to sell the 23.60s. That's our bull put spread at $1.25 credit, plus or minus 10 cents. Whoops. Period. 10 cents. I'd adjust around 225, 220, and maybe not maybe. I'd eject around 250. Well, I'd say maybe, because if something's going on where I think my commit criteria and my strategic mindset are still sound, I might stay with it. I had a good discussion last week about, quote, flying through my eject and adjust levels, and guess what? Okay. So, Jim, do you try $1.30 and walk down? Not really, Jim. I mean, I always start mid-market. If $1.30 is above the mid-market, there's no way in hell you're going to get filled, unless, guess what, Jim, the market pulls back and then you get filled up at $1.30. Jim, you could hang your lure over the boat at $1.30 and see what happens, of course. You bet, Jim. Yep, pipes are working. My phone just buzzed, so yep. Now let me help my SMS issue, folks. Hey, guys, by the way, the SMS issue ain't our fault. So to my Canadian friends, I don't know if it's a new telecom law or they just all have this SOP. if texts, if their groups are coming from a non-10-digit number, it's spam and they block it. We have to go through this massive call to like just get you fixed. And so weekly options, so right there. So guys, you know, you're here. It ain't our fault. It was working for years to Canada, and guess what? Your telecom companies don't like 5-digit text. The world's running out of phone numbers, folks. So they want you to pay to register. Maybe that's what it is, Kavan, and I'm not doing that because the email fires just as, then there's my email. So the email fires at the same time as the text alerts, guys. So we're not paying up to do any of that stuff. Got it, good. Okay, all right, good. All right, folks, let me get out of my Microsoft Edge. So that's about it. So the adjust, let me just talk through it again real quick. Uh-oh, why is it up to $1.50? We didn't roll over that hard. When I see something like that, okay, now I cancel it. Stop. This is how you trade weekly options. What's Sean Spicer saying? The only thing going on in the market is a Sean Spicer. So I am holding off on this. Wow, that is a big leg down. You know what it is? The market makers just saw that we all placed this order. Patrick, how do I sign up for the sit rep? 1 second. Guys, I'd cancel that, man. Sean Spicer, I'm not listening to it because I'm listening to you guys. Here's the sit rep. go.topgunoptions.com/sitrep, SITREP. Let's sort this out here for a second, guys. If you got filled where you got filled, okay. Let me send this to everybody. Or I'll put it in the chat box too. But if I can get it $1.50, what is it now? Yeah, the Dutch election. Yeah, I love all the Muslims and everybody rioting right before that election. Unbelievable. Yeah, AMD's getting in there, Marion. Nope, get out of the, you know. Let me put it in the chat box. Hold on a second. Let me just try and sort out what's going on. Let me open. So there's the sit rep for everybody who's not subscribed, so you don't have to go to the website every day and track it down. Let's see if this holds for a couple seconds here. Surveillance during the election. All right, well, guess what? I'll take the $1.30. I said plus or minus 10 cents. I'll take the dollar. Wait, edit. Is it $1.30 or not here, guys? What's the current mid-market? Oh, it's back to $1.25. All right, that was a quick scare. But this is weekly options, guys, and you can't sit here and watch this. You got to go to work, or I'm going to the beach here in a little bit for a run, going to work out. Or Kavan, you're right. You could go down. There you go, bouncing right off the bottom there. So something freaked the market out, but it's okay. Fish, I don't want to show you that page, but I will. I will show you this page and tell you that it's wrong. Okay, meaning Skip, there's like 90 things that need to be on this page. The event's like $500 or $1,000 depending on when you sign up. That isn't on here. So I'm going to tell you again, the only thing, listen to me, and if anybody asks a stupid question, you're not coming to the event because I'm briefing you. This was a placeholder. I said, hey, Skip, you know, throw a page up so I can gauge interest. That's it. So this is all wrong. The only thing right on this page are the dates. Everybody give me a freaking vertical head nod that you understand that. Good. Thank you. And I guarantee you at least 10 of you don't. Good. I got a couple copies. Al and Fish both said copy. Steve, Kevin, got some copies, which means they do understand. The only thing on this page that is right are the dates. So if you want to show your interest, I'm going to come back, maybe choke yourself by the end of the day, probably by the PLTB. It should be updated. I said, hey, Skip, can you get this up to date by the end of the day? If there's a Stanley Cup final game taking place in Florida that weekend. Maybe. All right, guys, so this is just to let us know that you're interested. Ignore the details except for the dates on the left, and we'll let you know about it. Okay? Once this page is up to date with all the good stuff, you don't have to let us know you're interested in it, okay? Because you're going to go into our Infusionsoft tagged as interested in the event. Jay, it's going to be, I think, at the Marriott Marquis right on the water in Brickell or South Beach. So it's going to be a very nice hotel. We're going to have a very nice dinner the night before, kind of a VIP dinner, small. I think we're going to keep it very small. And it's a little extra, obviously, to go to that because we drink nice wines and like nice steaks. We'll have breakfast the next morning, and then we'll have a full day of training, mutual speakers. Then we're going to have a live crossfire at the end of the day, which John Thomas and I are going to duke it out. So, Chuck, are the sit-reps on the TGO website? Yes. Tamara will be there. Sweet. Chuck, the sit-reps are on the site, but don't do that, man. You're wasting your time. Go here, and it gets emailed to you. Unless you want to go to the TGO page throughout the week to hunt them down, I don't know why you'd want to see them on the web page, but I'll show you where they are. It's a waste of time. Does that make sense? Jim, Doug will be there. So sign up for the sit-rep page. It's on the blog, guys. If you go to the Top Gun site and click blog, they're all on here. There you go. There's a Monday Market Outlook, the Friday Market Wrap-Up. It's all on the blog, guys, if you want to watch them. And they're also on our YouTube page. Okay? YouTube. So you could subscribe to the sit-rep, or you could go to the Top Gun Options YouTube page and subscribe there. Let me click my channel. And here's all. Not only are all the sit-reps on here, but when I do those free marketing live trade briefs Thursday afternoons that some of you can attend, right here, Trading the Trump Rally, sell or buy. This is when I did that. If you're an urgent alert, you saw this essentially. But here's the TGO page to sign up to my video channel. Kevin, he's making some calls today. EB, subscribe on YouTube and it will push to your phone as soon as it renders. That's awesome, EB. Thanks for the heads up. Also in StockTwits, I do post it there, Marion. Let me, Kevin, I'm going to send this to Doug. I know he's got a lot of phone calls to make. It's not because he's ignoring you. It's because there's a lot of people interested. Okay. I think he's got enough, but the final get WGC. This is the if you thought about it over the weekend, we will have some fallouts. Some people that after they talk to Doug is like, hey man, it's maybe after a couple more months. All right, sign up for that one. So this is, we're closing it out this week, guys. So kind of like your timing research shows, what's your percentage bias for S&P up or down this week? Phil, I think it's up. All these events are kind of cooked into the market. We know the Brexit, they already voted on it. We're going to have an interest rate increase. These are bullish things. The interest rate increase shows I'm worried if the Fed doesn't raise rates. Okay, so if they don't raise rates, we'll go down. I'll freak. Not freak. I mean, if they don't raise rates as much as expected, I'm the one that's going to go, what's the Fed seeing that is worrying them that they can't raise rates? Does that make sense? Everything else is baked in. So yeah, either subscribe to the our page here, or get the sit reps here, right there. And then the last thing's the live event, like I said, for the last time. Don't give me this, hey, the dinner you said was this or that, and it doesn't even say how much the conference costs. The conference costs $500 if you sign up now, $1,000 if you sign up late. So it's double the price. Okay? So, all right, guys, we went over 10 minutes here. Last thing, if you're doing the monthly, you got to start getting your stuff together to upgrade into an annual, because you will be subject to a price increase. All right. Good. I answered all those. All right. Any other questions? Let me take a look at how we're looking before we go. I'm at $1.25. I'm going to hang at $1.25, and I got my lure over the side of the boat. Cheryl, you sent a support ticket to Annie for what? Oh, to upgrade? Good. She's working on them. Awesome. Great. And guys, could you post the Facebook and Apple trades? Harry, I said I'd do that. Yes, I will include the Facebook and Apple trades. That's why I took a screenshot of them, guys, in case you guys were interested, okay? Thanks, Fish. Yep, I'm not leaving to Aspen until I'm supposed to fly out Friday with the kids, but there's a big networking event in Miami I have to go to Friday night, so I think I'm going to fly out Saturday and meet them. But I appreciate that. It's going to be fun. John, I didn't cancel the SPX trade. I canceled it for a second when I saw the market implode. It's live right here. So no, now the market's rallying hard. It's at $1.15. I said plus or minus 10 cents. I'll go to, I don't know, $1.15. If we rally past this, I'm not going to do it. So, all right, guys, I got to go. 11 minutes too long. This is how I trade weekly options. I'm going to sit here for a little bit as I write the email and render the thing, and I'm gonna watch it. Yeah, thank you, Mr. No Vacations. I'll be working next week, guys. I'll be doing my briefs. Might move the time. Yeah, I saw JP and Brian are in Powder in Utah. Fish. That's awesome. Wish I was there with those guys. Maybe we'll do 2 events a year. We'll do one in South Florida and one up in a ski area. That's on my mission objective for next year. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. I'll see many of you tomorrow in the primary live trade brief, okay? And one in Switzerland. Yeah, Benoit. I'll put that on the 2018 strategic calendar, okay? All right, guys, God bless, and I'll see you tomorrow morning in the PLTB.